this. We got this.
Okay.
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another Team Dignitas interview. Today we have Raz, the new head coach of Team Dignitas. Say hi, Raz.
Hey. How's it going?
And we're just going to ask him a few questions today about what he thinks of League of Legends right now, his upcoming coaching decisions, and just a little bit more about him as a person. So, Raz, our first question is, what brought you to League of Legends as a game, and how have you decided that the gaming industry is where you want to build your career around?
Ooh, I would have never thought myself in this position, or at least building a business around it, I guess. Like even a year ago, honestly. I was kind of doing this as a bit of a hobby, kind of like to pass my time, to just kind of like, because I love watching the game competitively. I love playing the game, definitely. Like, I remember, I think it was like Graves and Shyvana being the new champion, and somewhere in Season 2 that I started playing.
Oh my gosh. See, I started playing it like Jinx.
But yeah, like at first I actually just hated the game. I thought the game was too complicated, too large. So I just literally just played 3v3s, that little twisted tree line. But then I got into it, I started to love it a lot more. I didn't build as many boots.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, I saw that. Like, I've seen videos of those cringe moments in League of Legends, but I never experienced that.
Oh my goodness.
Because I came in so late in the game.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the concept of unique passives, so I was like, these boots have to stack. I just have to be faster now. Like,
I'm just gonna be so fast.
Yeah, I'm just running around the map.
Well, Raz, you also recently moved up as the head coach of Team Dignitas. So, in your opinion, what are the best qualities that you can be as a coach, and what are you going to bring specifically to the team to make them even better?
Well, I think a few points. One is being flexible to surroundings, like essentially knowing who the personalities, the people you're working with, and understanding their perspective, essentially. Another one is providing structure so that they're always, I guess, work is always efficient in every scenario, like just after scrims, before scrims, so they always know what they're doing. It's always pre-planned, and you always have everything planned for them, essentially. And the biggest one is, I guess, a bit of authority, just like, so, because it's a 5-man game, essentially, and you're going to be in the house with like 8 people, and so not everyone's going to agree with each other. That's just how life is, essentially. Everyone's going to, like, there are some decisions that are going to be made where not everyone is going to be happy with it due to different ideology or whatnot. So you always have to be able to be decisive when it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually really important. As an LCS coach, I think a lot of people just assume that coaches are kind of just like buddies with the players. And I think that's something that is really a lot more evident in this upcoming split, that especially like companies are searching for more serious coaches and really a lot more structure for players. It's been a learning curve as for coaches in general the past year.
Yeah. And there are different styles to it. I can understand how becoming closer, or like just like really like buddies with the players, it's easier to get their perspective. But when difficult decisions come your way, it's so much harder to make those decisions properly. And so that's always the issue. So I guess it comes down to finding a decent balance, but at the same time, if you can't find that balance, you might as well just like go down that direction.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you feel like joining Team Dignitas as the head coach is a new opportunity for you?
Yeah, it's a nice new opportunity. I have been, I guess my previous experiences, I have been the head coach for the Chiefs and the assistant coach for Dig EU back in EU. But obviously this is an LCS team. There's like a different level altogether. So it is a new opportunity, new experience.
Yeah, well, I bet you it's just really exciting in general.
Yeah.
And so you talked about it a little earlier about how you're going to be as a coach, but what are your realistic goals as a coach for this upcoming season?
I want to say, of course, just like to break the barrier, top 5 would be really nice. But in general, I do think it's realistic to get much farther than that, because as long as because we already know where we are, our current level, and we started scrimming pretty early in the game. So I think we are a lot better than people think we are, and we can
Yeah.
easily get top 5, and we can go further than that. But at the same time, we'll see how that goes, because we don't know there are a lot of new teams now too, so that's it's gonna be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I definitely feel like when we went to IEM a few weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, I was genuinely happy and surprised with our showing at IEM. I think a lot of people just expected us to flop. And
Yeah.
I think that we showed, because we didn't even have our full roster then, I think we showed a lot of promise. And so I'm really excited to see how we bring that to the new LCS split.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the NALCS currently? I know you just touched on that we're having a lot of new teams and how that's going to change the NALCS as a whole. So what do you think is going to be the biggest obstacle for Dignitas this season?
That's a good one. Because there are a lot of new teams, a lot of good talent, and actually a big one is proper structure on these teams too. I think that's a good change, because I remember when I was coming to NA, I wanted to structure the team around, like, obviously a proper staff, and I felt like that was something that was going to be unique to us. But I guess that isn't. I guess a lot of NA teams have decided to really buckle down, and I think that's really nice. I think that's it. I think that's going to be the biggest obstacle. One team would probably be. Oh, I think that's going to be the. But I think a lot of teams are really competitive, so that's going to be a big one, I guess. Big point.
Yeah, I think because we don't know that much really about the new teams, that's something that's going to be exciting and difficult at the same time.
Yeah.
So how will the latest changes that we met in League of Legends affect the competitive games, like the new Preseason 6? How do you feel about them?
A lot has been changed about it. Oh my goodness. The champions themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Like, especially, I feel like some champions are a little bit too powerful. But I think, honestly, it's the largest changes for me are item changes, and especially the war changes. Like, for instance, Malphite and Trundle, even Alistar, are running around with so much strength simply because
Pure tanks.
Pure tanks. And
Pure
it's just
tanks.
like, and Last Whisper only takes away bonus armor, so essentially, if you it's just a bit much. It's a bit too powerful. So there's that, and I think the warding changes in general is a bit too snowballing, and I think that's the largest snowballing factor in the game, is the fact that the first team that gets the Sightstone can essentially start moving around a lot faster, a lot more, and the team that gets Sightstone second, they're always going to be playing back on the defense, and they're only going to be able to pressure. They're going to be playing a lot more reactively, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's really snowballing in that sense, and I feel like then you have. I call it Spooky Ghost. I don't even know.
No, I've actually heard a lot of people call the Frost Queen's claim Spooky Ghost.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
I used to be a support main. I know these things.
There we go. But yeah, Frost Queen's claim and Blue Trinket are big ones. So you can never really set up around Baron with proper vision control, because Blue Trinkets and Spooky Ghost will always be able to essentially cancel that out, or at least all of that pressure down. But without them, then you'll have a situation where vision snowballing is just completely a big problem. So there are a lot of issues to really run down, and I think it'll be, I guess, fun to see where the game goes, what direction it goes. So
hey, at least League of Legends isn't stagnant. That's something we can say about it.
There we go.
And I know we touched on a little bit earlier about how some of the champions are obviously much stronger than others. And in the competitive scene, how do you feel like the current meta is going to change the competitive scene with all these powerful picks?
Yeah, so right now it's pretty much surrounded by, I guess Kindred's a big one, Malphite, Mundo. As you said, it's always changing. The game's always changing, so the meta always seems to find a different face. I think, so I'm not really so worried about certain strong picks right now. I guess I'm a little bit worried about certain weak picks because I know
Yeah.
that Graves was changed and he is just really awkward in a competitive sense. No one's
Yeah.
going to pick him up as an AD carry, and so I liked his champion earlier. I used to love playing that champion, so it feels like a lot of the changes, especially for the AD carries in general, it's I guess it's kind of um, how do I put it? It's shuffled the deck a bit. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, like Malphite. Okay, so I was playing solo queue yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was banning like Tryndamere, Jax, Soraka, like picks like that. Never once thought to ban Malphite. The only losses I had yesterday were against a Malphite.
Like it's actually
It's
is really
ridiculous.
difficult to play around him. It is, and a good one. I remember like in the beginning of this preseason, like Jax was just, or at least anybody with Winsu's Rage Blade is just
done.
Ridiculous. It's like he got one item.
It doesn't matter that he's 0-4. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's just gonna sweep.
And so I guess the changes have really, like, to Winsu's Rage Blade has done well by like increasing the price and like decreasing the radius of its AoE. But so yeah, I guess that's worked out a little bit. It was a painful preseason.
Yeah, I dropped many ranks in this preseason. But what are you looking forward to the most in this next season?
Ooh, I guess I'm looking forward to getting to know the players a lot more and the staff as well. Like, because when we're getting into the house, I think we should, like, the environment should be open, kind of like a family. Like, so that's what I'm looking forward to a lot. That's a big one, and of course, just the growth in general. The growth as the season goes on, because of course, we're not just looking at the league, the NALCS as a whole. Like, we're looking to get far past that, and to get to Worlds. This will be this season. I guess it's kind of funny because every coach comes in saying, "Oh, we're getting the Worlds," but that's quite honestly that's the goal.
It's a goal.
And and I think that's something that's very realistic with this current Dig roster.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited. So, from aside League of Legends, what do you do in your free time? Let's get to know Raz a little bit more.
Okay. Man, I used to be really bad with my time, but now I just actually, if I find myself not doing anything, or at least my definition of not doing anything is like, I used to watch anime, but if I find myself not doing that because I can't waste the 30 or 20 minutes of it doing so I'll just, like, honestly, I'll write something. Like, I used to do a lot. I used to create a lot of, a while back, I guess I used to make some content. Not anymore. But I find myself just, like, working, reading a book, actually. I have, like, a large library of books that I've read. And I'm just going to bring some over. These are the books I'm planning to take with me. So, actually, it's kind of funny because for whatever reason, I took 2 North Korean books. So I guess I'm just going to learn more about that. And a book named Little Princes. So it's about, I guess, the orphan childs in Nepal.
Oh, cool.
So I love reading in general. So I guess that's what I'm going to be doing a little more often.
Well, awesome. So, coming kind of to the conclusion of this interview, is there anything you would like to say to the fans of Team Dignitas?
Well, if you are fans of Team Dignitas, thank you for your devotion, essentially, and loyalty in general. And faith. I think that's the real word. I think that's the word I'm going for. Faith. This season will be different, and I think we're going to be seeing the most successful Dignitas this season. So, thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much, everybody who has watched this video, and thank you to all of Team Dignitas' sponsors. And other than that, guys, I think this is the end. Yeah?
Sounds good.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I think it'd be very exciting to see him as Chi sometimes, but overall I don't think he's very good here.